Erev Shabbat Shalom, a very good afternoon on this beautiful summer's day. We are enjoying a Kabbalat Shabbat this evening on Shabbat Parashat Korach. Let's read the first pasuk of the Parsha together. Vayikach Korach. Korach took himself and he separated himself from the congregation. It's an interesting word, Vayikach Korach. He took himself because he was focusing on himself and on self-gratification, as opposed to the pasuk which talks about our contribution, Vayikcholik Truma. We take ourselves, dedicate ourselves to contribute to society, to contribute to others, to make the world a better place, to make a difference. We contribute our time, our efforts for others. And in this case, Korach is doing the complete opposite. He is taking himself and dedicating himself to himself, saying, I'm going to make every possible effort and I'm going to take as much as necessary time to do things for myself, to promote myself, to support myself, and therefore he's taking himself and dividing or separating himself from the congregation. And then the Torah tells us who his father is, and who his grandfather is, and who his great-grandfather is, and there it stops. So Korach was the son of Yitzhar, the son of Kehat, and the son of Levi. Hold on, says Rashi. He's not only the son of Yitzhar, Kehat, and Levi. If you're already mentioning all these generations, why not go to the very beginning? He was the son of Yaakov Avinu, Jacob. Why not mention the next generation? The fact that he was the son of Yaakov Avinu. And there Rashi explains that Yaakov Avinu looked into the future before his death and he prayed, please, do not mention me with a congregation of Korach. Do not mention me when it comes to the disagreement that Korach brought about. Bikesh rachamim al atzmo, says Rashi. He asked for mercy. Shelo yizacher shemo al machloktam. For his name not to be mentioned, not to be remembered when it comes to a disagreement, to a boiges, to a machloket. And Rashi quotes the words from the book of Bereshit, Perek Memtet, chapter 49. Bekehalam al techad kevodi. Please honor me, says Yaakov Avinu, by separating me and not mentioning my name when it comes to the split of the disagreement which occurred during the times of Korach. And now I'd like to address the following question. We do not find any of Jacob's name mentioned in the entire book of Bamidbar. There are lots of dynasties mentioned in Bamidbar, of children, of grandparents, and yet Yaakov is never mentioned when it comes to those Pesukim. And now there is no expectation for him to be mentioned either. And if there's no expectation for him to be mentioned, he doesn't need to pray to omit his name from this Sedra. And Rashi doesn't need to mention that Yaakov Avinu is not there. So why on earth would Yaakov Avinu need this to be mentioned in such a way? As a matter of fact, it would be fair to say that Yaakov Avinu is mentioned here more than any other portion or Sedra in the entire book of Numbers. Because in every other book of Numbers, there's no expectation for Yaakov Avinu to be mentioned. He's long gone. But in this Sedra, the Parsha of Korach, where Korach divides himself from the people, and he causes division amongst the people, here, Yaakov is actually mentioned by saying they shouldn't be mentioned. It's a little bit like me holding a birthday party, because it's my birthday soon. And I will stand up at the birthday party and announce that the king is not invited to my party. Well, that would be strange, because the fact of the matter is that no one expects the king to be invited to my party. No one expects the king to arrive. The king would never come to my birthday party, even if I would send an invitation. So why do I need to stand and announce that the king is not invited? I think a possible reason to this may be that Yaakov Avinu may not expected to be invited, but he wanted to take a stand here. He wanted to be mentioned by saying that he does not approve of the boigas. He does not approve of the disagreement. He does not approve of Jewish people fighting one against the other. And he's trying to send a message of unity, a message of achdut. As he did in his life, he also wants us to remember this after he dies, long after he dies in the book of Numbers. And he sends a message to us all saying, when you see a boigas, when you see a disagreement, when you see people separating from each other, do not take a side. Try to bring about peace. Try to bring about unity and fight for that unity and fight for that peace because our lives depend on it. The Jewish people have so many enemies, unfortunately. Israel is surrounded by enemies, and we've been attacked in so many occasions and fought so many wars. But the one thing we can avoid, the one thing that we can control, the one thing that is in our hands is to bring about unity, to bring about achdut. And that is Yaakov Avinu's message. And that is possibly the reason why he is named Yisrael, the name of our nation, the name of our people, the person who brings Am Yisrael together, the person who stands against the disagreement, the boigas and the machloket, and promotes unity in his life and after that. Yaakov Avinu is still there, reminding us of his message. He of all people knows what happens when tribes argue and split and when tribes cannot get on with each other. And today, there are also tribes within the Jewish people with different backgrounds and different thoughts and different opinions. And that is something to celebrate. The diversity is very much an advantage as long as we can remain united despite our different opinions and despite our different backgrounds. As long as we can do so, we can connect to the essence of Israel, of Yaakov Avinu. So we'll start now with the Kabbalat Shabbat on Lechu Niran, and I'll be using the Art Scroll Siddur this Shabbat, and we are starting on page 145. Please mention any comments you wish to mention, any comments you wish to write. Just here on the right-hand side, I can see that lots of people have already done so. We will make sure that your comment appears on screen, and more importantly, I will also personally wish you Shabbat Shalom during the service. Let us know where you're watching from, and anything you'd like to wish everyone else on this program will be shared with the greatest of pleasure. So as I said, we're on page 145, starting now with Lechu Niranana. And maybe our Devar Torah today will bring at least one of us to think about unity, about maybe apologizing or accepting an apology, not sustaining that anger in our hearts, and going up to whoever it is that we once disagreed with and saying, let's make shalom, let's make peace. Page 145. Lechu Niranena L'Adonai Nariya Letzurishenu. Shabbat Shalom to Angela. Nekadma Panav Betoda Bizemirat Nariyalo. Shabbat Shalom to Robin Abrahams from Newbury Park. כי אל גדול אדוני ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים, אשר בין מחקרי ארץ ותועפות הרים לו, אשר לא הים והוא עשה וביבשת ידיו יצרו, בואו נשתחווה ונברכה לפני אדוני עושנו, כי הוא אלוהינו אנחנו עם מרעיתו, וצאן ידו היום אם בקולו תשמעו, אל תקשו לבבכם כי מריבה, כי יום מסע במדבר, אשר ניסוני אבותיכם בחנוני גמרו ופועלי. 40 שנה אקוט בדו ויאמר המתי לבבים והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי באפי אם יבואו אל מנוחתי. Shabbat Shalom to family Lamb, lovely to hear from you in Newcastle, and Shabbat Shalom to the entire United Hebrew congregation in Newcastle. Lovely to see you and lovely to hear from you, and I loved your message, Shabbat Korach Shalom. So instead of calling it Shabbat Korach Boiges, it's Shabbat Korach Shalom, Shabbat Korach of peace. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד. נורא הוא על כל אלוהים איי כי כל אלוהי העמים אלילים ואדוני שמיים עשה עוד והדר לפניו עוד ותפארת במקדשו אבל אדוני משפחות עמים אבל אדוני כבוד ועוז אבל אדוני כבוד שמו סיום מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו איי השתחוו לאדוני בעלת קודש חילו מפניו כל הארץ אמרו בגויים אדוני מלך אף תקרון תבל בהל תימוד מהמדינמים במישרים יסמכו השמיים ותגל הארץ הירם הים ומלואו יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו איי אז ירננו כל הצער לפני אדוני כי היווה לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל בצדק אוי וימים באמונתו נאי 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 Oy 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 na 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 na. Shabbat shalom to Kayla from South London. Shabbat shalom to Gail from Richmond. Shabbat shalom to Joe from Wales. Shabbat shalom to Nadine and Shabbat shalom, if I'm not mistaken, it's Nadine from Jersey. And Shabbat shalom also to Anthony from Jersey. Shabbat shalom to Francis from South Woodford, and Shabbat shalom to Angela, who says thank you, Angela. And finally, Shabbat shalom to Trevor Trey, who wishes everyone Shabbat shalom from London. Lovely to hear from you. Keep the comments coming, keep the singing going, up to the 3rd chapter here on Adonai Malach Tagel Haaretz. ישמחו עם רבים על הנופל סביביו, צדק ומשפט מכון כיסו, אש לפניו תלך תלהט סביב צריו, הירו ברקיו תבל ראתה ותחל הארץ, הרים כדול הגממסו מלפני אדוני מלפני אדון כל הארץ, יגידו השמיים צדקו וראו כל העמים כבודו, יבושו כל עובדי פסל המתהללים בלילים. השתחוו לו כל אלוהים שמע ותשמח ציון ותגל לבנות יהודה, למען משפטיך אדוני, כי אתה אדוני עליון על כל הארץ, מאוד נעלית על כל אלוהים. אוהבי אדוני שנוא רע, שומר נפשות חסידיו, מיד רשעים להצילם. עוזרו על הצדיק, לישרי לב שמחה. שמחו צדיקים באדוני, והודו לזכר קודשו. Shabbat Shalom to Robin Abrahams, to Angela and Paul. Rose from Radlett and Anthony is from Hendon. I stand corrected. Thank you, Anthony. We're up to the 5th paragraph, which is Mizmor Shir Adonai Shir Chadash Niflot Asar Shir Leminei Yizra Kodsho Hodi Adonai Shirato Lenei Hagoyim Gilat Tzidkato Zachar Chasdo Ve'emunuto Lebeit Yisrael ראו כל אפסי הארץ את ישועת אלוהינו, הריעו לאדוני כל הארץ ויצחו ורננו וזמרו, זמרו לאדוני בכינור, בכינור וכל זמרה. בחצוצרות וכל שופר, הריעו לבני המלך אדוני, ירם הים ומלואו. תבל וישבבה נהרות ימחו כף יחד הרים ירננו ני 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 לפני אדוני קיבה לשפוט הארץ דרדם ישפוט תבל בצדק וימים במי שערים. Shabbat Shalom ומבורך to Estelle Nao from Chigwell. And we continue now with Hashem Malach. I think I accidentally said before 5th. This is the 5th paragraph. Last one was the 4th. אדוני מלך יגזו עמים אשר קרובים תנות הארץ, אדוני מציון גדול ורמו על כל העמים, יודעי שמך גדול ונורא קדוש הוא, ועוז מלך משפט אהב אתה כוננת בישרים, משפט וצדקה ביעקב אתה עשית, רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו לאדון רגליו קדוש הוא. משה ואהרון בכהניו, ושמואל בקוראי שמו, קוראים אל אדוני, והוא יענם. בעמוד ענן ידבר עליהם, שמרו עדותם וחוק נתן לעמו. אדוני אלוהינו אתה ניתם, אל נושא היית להם ונוקם על עלילתם, רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקדשו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. Please join me for a special Labor Day. Mizmor LeDavid, Mizmor LeDavid. Hey, Havul Adonai bnei Elim. Havul Adonai kavod v'hoz. Havul Adonai kavod Shemo Hishtachar Ladonai Behadrat Kodesh Ayai Kol Adonai Alamayim Melakavod Hirim Adonai Almayim Almayim Rabim Ayai Kol Adonai Vavagavach Kol Adonai Be'adar Kol Adonai Shaver Arazim V'Shaber Adonai Et Arzei Alvanon Hey! Vayakidem Kehemoegel Lebanon Sirion V'Veinehem Imayei Kol Adonai Chotzer Lahavot Esh Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar Ayai Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai Yichalel Ayalot Vayechesof Ye'arot Veichalo Kulo Merkavod Adonai Lamabul Yashav Vayeshev Adonai Melech le'olam Ayai Adonai Az le'amo yiten Adonai Yevarech et amo v'shalom Hey! Na-na-nai, nai, ya-ra-ra-ra-ra-na-nai Nai, na-nai, nai, na-na-na-na-na-nai Ay-ay-ay-ay, nai, nai, na-nai Ya-ra-nai, na-nai, nai, nai Ya-nai, na-nai, nai, 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 nai Ya-ra-nai, nai, 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 nai Gives me great pleasure to wish Sandra Pullen a Shabbat Shalom from Elstree. Page 147, right at the bottom, we are now starting with Lecha Dodi. Please join me. Let's sing together on Shabbat Shalom Korach. Really like that. On this special Shabbat of unity, let's sing Lecha Dodi together. Lecha Dodi, ay, nay, 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 vikrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekavela lecha doiti na 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 li hikrat kala Penei Shabbat nekavela Yadai nai nai shamo v'zachor b'diburecha tishmianu elam meyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo yechad leshem ultiferet ve'lithila lecha doiti likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekavela Yanai nai nai likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki meko haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof mase b'machshava techila lecha doiti Likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekabela Oy 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 Mikdash melech Ir melucha kumitzehi Mitoch hafecha Rav lach shevet beyemek habacha Vehu yachmol alayichem la Lecha doidi likrat kala Penei Shabbat nekavela Haradai dai dai hit nari meyafarku milivshi begdei תפארתך מעל יד בן ישי בית הלחמי קרבה אל נפשי גאלה לך דוידי לקראת כלה פני שבת הנה קבלה יאנה נאי 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 תיררי כברך קומי אורי 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 שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת nekabela. We traditionally change the tune for the very last four parts of Lecha Dodi, starting with Lo Tevoshi. Do not be ashamed. Be proud of your Judaism and celebrate Shabbat. לא תבואי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו עניי עמי, ונבנתה עיר אל תילה, איי לך דודי, ניי לקראת כלה, איי פני שבת, איי נקבלה, ואיי לבשיסה שייסייך, היי ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כמסויס חסון על כלה, איי לך דודי, איי לקראת כלה, איי פני שבת, איי נקבלה, ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, יעל ידיש בן פרצי, היי ונשמחה ונגילה, איי לך דודי, ניי לקראת כלה, איי פני שבת, איי נקבלה. We now turn from east to west because the Shabbat is arriving and we have the tremendous chutz, the merit of receiving the neshama yetera, that special soul of Shabbat, which joins us and brings sanctity and peace to our homes. So let's turn round as we sing Boi B'Shalom. Boi B'Shalom materet bala, gam b'simcha utahala, tachem neyam segula, Boi chala, yai nanai lecha doidi, yai nanai likrat kala, ay penei Shabbat, ay nekabela, yai nanai lecha doidi, ay likrat kala, ay penei Shabbat. Nai nekabela. I thought I heard you singing with me. It was so powerful. Thank you so much for joining. Last two parts of Kabbalat Shabbat. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir. Shir Liyom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir. Shir Leyom HaShabbat, everybody singing. Sing a song of Shabbos, everyone is singing. Sing a song of Shabbos, Mizmor Shir. Shir Leyom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir. Shir Leyom HaShabbat. טוב להודות לאדוני לזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך במעלתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחינו, כי שמחתני עיני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן, מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך, ישבר לו ידע, וכסיל לו יבין את זאת, בפרוח ראשים כמו עשב, ויציצו כל פלאבן, לישם דמה דיד, ואתה ברוב לעולם אדוני, Kinevech Adonai Kinevech Yovedu Yitpardu Kol Polei Aven Vaterem Karim Karni Baloti B'Hashem Ranan V'Tabetini B'Shurai Bekamim Alai Mereim Tishmana Oznai Tzadik Ata Amari Yifach Ke'erez Balabanan Yizkeh Shetulim Beveit Adonai Bechatzot Eloheinu Yafrichu Od Yenuvun Beseiva Deshenim V'Ra'nanim Eyu Lehagid Ki Yashav Adonai Tzuri V'Lo Avlata Bo Adonai Malach Geyut Lavesh Adonai Az Hitazar Ahavdikot Tevel Baltimot Nachan Kisacham Meyaz Me'olam Atadai Dadadai Nasun Yavat Adonai Nasun Yavat Kolam Yisu Neharot Doch Yam Naidai Yadadai Bikolot Mayim Rabbi Vadirim Mishbereyam Adir Bamarom Adonai Edoitecha Nehemdu Meyod Leveitcha Nava Kodesh Adonai Le'olech Yamim. Thank you all so much for joining me. Shabbat of unity and peace. Shabbat Korach Shalom. Goodbye.